So when I'm warming up, I obviously first I have my pre-climbing like drink. It's just a protein mix. So yeah, I drink about 75% of it, and then I drink the rest throughout the session. When I first get on the wall, I'll keep my sweater on just to try to make the initial kind of juggy warm-up go a little bit faster, because sometimes the jugs don't really get your shoulders and fingers moving quite so fast, so the sweater helps expedite that process. And then you'll also see that I do a fair bit of movement on the wall. So I'll climb up like an easier route, and then maybe I'll down climb and do some kind of stretching on the wall, which I find is it's good to kind of get you more like mobile instead of just kind of getting you stretched, ready to go. So I put my body in positions that I might see on the wall. I'll do some toe hooks and some heel hooks, and I'll also use whatever holds. You know, sometimes I'll pick kind of the 3 lowest grades and I'll just get on one of them to start warming up. But yeah, as I'm down climbing or even up climbing, I will just grab whatever just to get the warm up going, because it's not about, for me, I don't try to go like, easy, medium, hard when I'm warming up. Of course, that's the general gist. It's more about just how I feel. So I find that warm-ups are also a good opportunity to practice some skills. I fully credit my toe hook ability, which I think is above average compared to my other skills, from just doing it so much in warm-ups. I toe hook all the time, and I don't do it nearly as much when I'm climbing, but I'm very good at it. And so I like to take the opportunity to just do some very gentle kind of drills almost while I'm warming up to get some skills higher. So another thing I like to do is do some like kind of coordination moves while I'm warming up, and some like very gentle, like easy coordination that should go first try, but just to get my body used to kind of doing these moves. And that's been really, really helpful. Also note, my pace is very fast when I'm warming up. Probably like max 30 seconds between attempts. It's also important to remember that a warm-up is just a warm-up. I will fall a lot in warm-up, like I'll half try boulders, I won't do the finish move, I'll slip around, I'll be sloppy, and I don't try as hard as I can when I'm warming up, of course. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that's a good way to get injured. If you're kind of get on a boulder that maybe is a little bit too hard for you and you try a little bit too hard. I've definitely done this before, where I've tried too hard too quickly and I've kind of hurt myself in warm-up. So as you see on this red climb, I kind of was a bit sloppy, I messed around, and I also didn't go for the finish hold because I wasn't quite ready to do a move that hard, mentally even, in addition to physically. So I can't tell you how many World Cups I've been to where I kind of don't feel very good in the warm-up, like I'm not doing very hard boulders, but I'm warm at the end of the day, and that's all that really matters. So I'll do some coordination, get that going at competitions or even in just normal training sessions. But it is not important to perform during the warm-up, of course. In training, it's a little bit easier because you can kind of gradually work up to the boulders you want to try. But in World Cups, I'll do some hard boulders at the very end, but oftentimes just making up moves. So I don't ever actually do some hard sends before I go out to do a round. So it's all about just being as warm as possible. And as long as I feel warm, I feel confident. So I'll probably do one more red tape. So I was slowly kind of creeping up. Sometimes I'd bounce back down to a grade and then back up, just depending on what the boulder looks like. If there's more crimps, maybe I'll do that maybe a little bit later, even though it's an easier grade. So I usually, at this gym, at Up The Bloc, this is kind of our chain throughout Canada. Up The Bloc is one of many gyms owned by the same person. So the grading system is the same. So actually Boulder House has the same grading system, is owned by the same person as Up The Bloc here in Toronto. So that's kind of cool, actually. And I think they have gyms like in 4 or 5 provinces for sure. So anyway, whenever I'm at these gyms, I like to stop at red tape, which is 2 below the hardest. So it goes red, I'm looking at the cheat sheet right now, red, black, pain. And that's basically it. When it comes to warming up, of course, it's all about how you feel. So for me, I like to make sure my fingers are warm enough. I don't go by a certain time. If my fingers start feeling warm right away, maybe it's a hot gym or I'm just getting on certain boulders that are really getting me going, I will end my warm up early, and it'll be maybe a 30-minute or 25-minute even warm up. The same goes for second session. Second session, usually I warm up a lot faster. That warm up will be between like 15 and 25 minutes. I try not to reinvent the wheel too much. I don't do a lot of prehab or rehab or physio stuff when I'm doing my off the wall warm up. I used to do a lot of it, and I found it was using so much time, and when I just started hopping on the wall, I felt just as good, and it was a little bit faster. Off the wall warm up is a good opportunity to throw in some physio exercises or some kind of injury preventative stuff. This is probably an area that I would benefit from doing a little bit more of in my training, but I train so many times a day, and so many times a week. It is just, I want to get on the wall right away. Today's, I think, was, what time is it? I don't think I could check the time while I'm recording. Oh, there's a clock over there. 11:15. So yeah, it was a little less than 45 minutes.